Greetings from EPG Pathshala. Today in this module I am going to talk about hash functions. What is hash function? What are the criteria for a good cryptographic hash function? And then we are going to discuss about SHA-512 algorithm in detail, what steps it follows and how a hash output is generated. I would start my discussion with what is a hash function. Hash function is a function that accepts a message of a variable length and it generates the output of a fixed length. In mathematical terms, we can say H is equal to hash function applied to M. M is our message, and keep in mind it is of variable length, but what we are generating as a hash is a fixed length code. When we are talking about security, we are going to use cryptographic hash function. A cryptographic hash function, what is so special in that? It is when you use a hash function for cryptography, it should be computationally infeasible to find data object that maps to pre-specified hash result. And second is, it is very much computationally infeasible to find a data object that map to same hash result. What these two things mean? It means that if you are given a predefined hash value, saying that we have a hash value of 160 length, then it is very difficult to find out an input exactly that generates the hash which we want to get. And second is, it is very difficult to find out data object that results in a same hash value. That means you cannot find out any input that generates the same hash value as the given hash value. What are the requirements and security? The first is called pre-image. For a hash value h, hx, that means x is the input to hash function which generates the hash value h, that x is called pre-image. Collision. In a hash function, collision occurs if x is not equal to y and h of x is equal to h of y. That means two inputs are not equal to each other, but they are generating the same hash value. The third is pre-image resistant. It is also called one-way property. It is easy to generate a code given a message, but virtually impossible to generate a message given code. That means if you are given a hash value, it is impossible to generate the input message. Then the point is second, pre-image resistance. It is impossible to find an alternative message with the same hash value. These are the four keywords that we use with the hash function: pre-image, collision, pre-image resistant, and second pre-image resistant. There are two categories of attack: brute force and cryptanalysis. Brute force attack means you are given a hash value and you would try all the possible inputs that generates the hash value. Cryptanalysis attack, we already have seen the categories of cryptanalysis attack. It is known plain text, known ciphertext, ciphertext only attack. So those kind of attack can occur on hash functions. Now we are going to look at the secure hash algorithm SHA-512. As the diagram suggests, we are going to have a message, then we are going to have a padding, and then we are going to have L, that is the length of the original message. As the diagram suggests, we are going to work in the block of 1024 bits. It will go from M1, M2 and Mn. The message is passed to the function with the input IV, and initially we will call it H0, and iteratively we will be following the function to generate the final hash code. This was just an outline how the secure hash algorithm SHA-512 works. But to go in the detail, we will start with what is the actual input to the algorithm. The actual input is a message with maximum length of less than 2^128 bits, meaning that you cannot give a message that is larger than 2^128 bits. What is the output? 512-bit message digest. So now we have got the point. SHA-512 means whatever size of input you feed to this algorithm, it will generate a hash value of 512 bits, and that is why it is called SHA-512. And from the block diagram, it is very clear that input processing is always done in 1024-bit blocks. SHA-512 consists of 80 rounds, so you have to perform 80 rounds to generate a final hash value. Every time a 512-bit buffer is updated. Every round uses a WT, which is nothing but a 64-bit value. WT, T is a suffix that represents the round number, and it is derived from the current message block. So in the further discussion, we will see what we can use as WT, meaning that W1, W2, W3 and so on. We are also going to use the round constant based on the cube root of first 80 prime numbers. Take first 80 prime numbers, take its cube root, and whatever value is generated, we will divide them into the 80 constants which we need for every round. So one more thing is clear to you, every round also uses a constant that should be different for each round. All in all, this algorithm will have 5 steps. Step 1 is append the padding bit. Step 2, append the length. Step 3, initialize hash buffer. Step 4, process the message in 1024 bit. If I convert it into words, they make 128 word blocks, and step 5 is output. Let's start with step number 1, append padding bits. Whatever message we have got, it should be padded so that its length is congruent to 896 modulo 1024. Now the question is, what if the original message length is equal to 896 modulo 1024? Still the padding has to be done. So even if the message is of desired length, padding is compulsory in this algorithm. Padding bits can be between 1 to 1024. Padding suggests that whatever message we are given, we should add number of bits so that the number of bits become the congruent to 896 modulo 1024. Can I pad any bit pattern? No. The bit pattern which we can pad is a single one followed by necessary number of 0 bits. Step 2, append length. So now we are ready with a message, that too padded message. What we need to do next? Append length of the original message, because the receiver would not have a knowledge that what was the length of original message. For that, a block of 128 bits is appended to the message. Those 128 bits contains the length of the original message. Second step is also clear. Now we are going with the third step, initialize the hash buffer. As I discussed earlier, we are going to use 512-bit buffer that is used to hold intermediate and final results of hash function. In cryptography, when we are performing number of rounds, every round would generate an output. We will call it intermediate result, and at the end of the last round, whatever has been generated, we will call it a final result, and that is what we want as a hash value. In this algorithm, 8 buffers are used. They are all of 64 bits. We will name them A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. We already emphasized that those buffers or those A, B, C, D, E, F registers are populated by the value which is a cube root of first 80 prime numbers. Just to have a look at what those registers contain, A would contain 6A09, E667F, 3B, CC 908, and accordingly B, C, D, E, F, G, H contains 5B, E0, CD 1913, 7E 21 and 79. So you can look at the slide to check out what all values are stored in these registers. After the registers have been initialized, we are going to do the next step, but just reminding you that those 8 64-bit registers store data in big endian format. Big endian format suggests that most significant byte is stored in a low address, that means leftmost byte position. So this is to keep in mind that it uses big endian format. Step 4 is process message in 1024-bit, 128 blocks. We already know 80 rounds need to be performed. Each round works on 512-bit buffer value of A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Updates the contents of buffer. Every round would update the content of all these buffers. At input of the first round, the buffer has the value of the intermediate hash value, that is H I minus 1. So before you start the first round, there would be some hash value through which we have to start computation. Each round T denotes the round number that makes use of WT. WT is again 64-bit value that is derived from current 1024-bit block being processed. We will call it MI. Each round uses additive constant. We will denote them by KT, where T is between 0 and 79. Now the question is, for what purpose we are going to use the constants? The constant, if we feed constants, they provide randomized set of 64-bit patterns. And the whole idea is, if your input has some regularities, that means input is having some uniform pattern, then these constants would eliminate that uniformity, eliminate those regularities, and it would make your data look like a random data, so that attacker cannot find out what is going on in the data. For you to visualize, I have shown on the screen all 512 constants that we are going to use in the 80 rounds. So you can go through those all by yourself in the slide. So it is starting with 428A, 2F, 98, D7, 28, AE, 22, and the last I would read out for you is 6C, 44, 198, C4, A4, 75817. Continuing with our step number 4, that is processing message in 1024-bit blocks. We got what we want as a constant. Now the next is output of 88th round. That means the last round is added to the input to the first round. You can check the figure that first round input, that is HI minus 1, is fed to the output of 80th round, and whatever is produced is our final hash value. The addition is done for each 8 words in the buffer with each corresponding words in hi-1, and they are also using the modulo operation, that is modulo 2 raised to 64. Just to have a better idea of what I said, you can see from the figure the message is fed, and at the first round hi-1 is fed. You can see we are using W0 in the first round. We denote first round as round 0 and the last round as round 79. So accordingly we have started rounds. We want to go ahead with round 80, so we have started with round number 0 and round number 79, and throughout the discussion you all know what is fed to the round: A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Those are the 8 registers, and we have fed K0 as well. So all in all there would be 3 inputs, W0, 8 registers with 64-bit data and keys. It would go up to round number 80, and you can verify that what I said in the last round. To generate the final hash value, the input of the first round we denote it by hi-1 is also fed, and last modulo 2 raised to 64 operation is performed, and whatever we get as output is the final hash value, and it is the length of that hash value would be 512 bits. If we want to put behavior of this algorithm into equations, we would start with H0 equal to IV, that is initialization vector. In each round we are going to perform the summation with the modulo 64 operation. That summation module will have 2 parameters as an input: the hash value generated in the previous round and the constants buffer, which we have constant 8 buffers denoted by A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, and finally we are going to have a hash value. Sometimes in cryptography that hash value is called message digest as well. Message digest is denoted by MD, and MD equal to HN, and suggest output of the last round. For you, I have kept another figure saying that how these buffers are manipulated to generate the new output. For that we are going to check the processing, what processing is being done for this as constants. It says that you have an input, something as an input, it goes to the vigorous mathematical process, and we are generating the new A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H registers. Each round is defined by the equations. So each round we have T1 and T2. What does the T1 and T2 say? H, that means the content of register H. We will be applying the function CH on whom? E, F and G. What is E, F and G? E, F, G is the content of E, F and G registers. What does CH function do? CH function says we have to perform conditional function saying that if E then F else G. In a logical term we are going to do E and F. So AND operations would be performed on 2 register E and F, not E and G. That would be performed on not E and G, and then they would be exclusive OR, and the result would be the result of the function CHEFG. Then we are going to add another term, that is sigma 1 to 512 and E. What does that mean? It means that we have to perform rotate right, rotate right, rotate right. In my slide you can see on the rotate right I have written a superscript saying 14. So it says we have to perform circular right shift rotation of the 64-bit argument which is passed by n bits. Just to make my point once again clear, we would, if I denote rotate r with superscript n and parameter x, it suggests that we have to perform a circular right shift rotation of the 64-bit argument x by the superscripted n, that means n number of bits. So when I say sigma 1 to 512e, it has an equation rotate right 14e, exclusive odd with rotate right 18e, exclusive odd with rotate right 41e. It suggests that e should be having the circular right shift operation for 14 times. Now exclusive OR with the output of it with the rotate right operation on e 18 times, exclusive OR it with circular right shift of e with 41 times, and whatever result you get is an output of sigma 1 to 512e. The generation of T1 doesn't end here, still two more terms are there, WT and KT. WT is specific for each round and KT is also specific for each round. WT is a 64-bit word derived from the current 1024-bit block, and KT is a 64-bit additive constant. I already showed you the constants which we are going to use. They are very well defined, and that slide it was all visible. Once again, let me remind you, T1, when we want to generate T1, H plus CH EFG plus sigma 1 to 512E plus WT plus KT. To generate T2, we have sigma going from 0 to 512 and A. So once again, what 0 to 512A suggests? It suggests perform rotate right operation with 28 times A on A, exclusive OR with rotate right operation 34 times on A, exclusive OR with rotate right operation 39 with A. Keep in mind, when I say rotate right, it's a circular right shift. Once you have performed this, you are with output, then add it, perform addition with MAJAB. What is MAJ function do? MAJ function has three inputs A, B and C. Now you all know we are manipulating the values of A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H registers. So when I say MAJABC, it's nothing but operation A and B, exclusive OR with A and C and exclusive OR with B and C. Means the function is true only of the majority, 2 or 3 of the arguments are true. That is why it is denoted by MAJ saying majority. Going ahead, if we want to get H, we will simply substitute G and replace H by G, replace G by F, replace F by E, replace E by D plus T1. So in the previous discussion we generated T1, that T1 should be added to D to generate E. D equal to C, C equal to B, B equal to A and A equal to T1 plus T2. T1 plus T2 we have generated through a mathematical plus logical process. What is the observation? When we have new A and E, they are the computation value. All other registers have simply substitution operation performed on them. So 6 of the 8 words of the output of the round function involve simply substitution. Those include B, C, D, F, G, H by means of substitution, and then only 2 output words are generated by some computation. Round word WT and constant KT, the word are also generated through the substitution. It says word A is a function of all the input variables except D, as well as the round function WT and KT. Now if we want to generate WT, what we are going to do? For generating WT, we have a function called sigma 1 512 WT minus 2. What is sigma 1 to 512 suggest? We have to perform rotate right operation 19 times on X, exclusive OR with rotate right operation 61 times on X, and exclusive OR with shift right 6 times on X. Up till now I talked about rotate right. It was circular right shift, and when I say shift SHR operation, it is a left shift operation of the 64 bits argument X by N with padding by zeros on the right. So SHR is a left shift, and it is not a circular left shift, so you have to append or you have to pad zeros on the right. While generating WT, what we are adding next to this term WT minus 7, the next term is sigma 0 to 512, and that would be performed by WT minus 15. So you are clear, if I am generating the 19th word, that is W19, I have to perform sigma 1 to 512 on W17. Then I have to perform WT minus 7, that is 19 minus 7, that says 12, and I have to perform sigma 0 to 512 on WT minus 15, that says W4. 0 to 51 suggests you have to rotate right one time on X, rotate exclusive OR with rotate 8 times on X, exclusive OR with shift left with padding of zeros on right 7 times on X. And then you have to add WT minus 16, that is 19 minus 16, W3. So each new W is an operation performed on the previous W's, and you can generate the new thing. Don't forget, the addition which we are going to perform is always addition modulo 2 raised to 64. First 16 values of WT are taken directly from the 16 words of the current block. So current block is divided into 16 words. One word is of 32 bit length, so our input of 1024 is divided into 16 words, and they would be fed to WT. The remaining values are defined as a function of the earlier values. We used rotates, shifts, and exclusive OR. I already explained you how these operations are performed to get new WTs. To have your a pictorial view, you can see the initial 1024 bits are fed to W0 to W6, then W0 to W15, and for W16 the whole complex process starts of deriving through the operation rotates, shift lefts, and exclusive OR. For W16 we are going to use W0, W1, W9 and W14. You can verify it by putting them into the equation, and so on. We will keep on repeating the process up to W79. All the values, how to generate them and how to process them is clear to you. We will go ahead with SHA 512 algorithm property. Every bit of hash code is a function of every bit of input. Complex repetition of basic function f produces result that is so well mixed that even if two messages chosen at random exhibiting similar regularities will have it is very rare chances that it will produce the same hash code. Applications of hash codes are message authentication and digital signature that we will see in the next module. So to summarize this module, what I would say is we try to define what is a hash function. Then we said what are the characteristics. We cannot take any function to be the hash function. It has to fulfill the criteria, and I already emphasized that what are the criteria. We saw the complex structure of SHA 512, and one thing we are sure for hash functions that whatever may be the input, variable size of input, the output would be the fixed length code. Thank you.